Siddur Snippet series is generously sponsored by the Saka family and as well by Yelad and Avram Foreman. Allah Tzadikim, we discussed. Allah Chasidim, the pious, the righteous. Which is greater, Tzadikim or Chasidim, we addressed. Ziknei Amcha Beis Yisrael, who are they? The Balei HaMasorah, Talmidei Chachamim, Pleitas Sofreim, Sofrei Stam, those who write Svarim, maybe those who work in a Beit Sefer, the teachers, Pleitas Sofreim, Al-Gerei HaTzedek. We recently spent time, why are we invoking and why are we dafka davening for the welfare and the well-being of converts, their significance, kashin kesapachas. They're irritating because they're so inspired. They're irritating because they're so energized. They're irritating because they make us feel guilty. They are the mirror we hold up to ourselves. I have a lot of svarim on the siddur. That's how I prepare for siddur snippets. And I look through them on each word we see. But the next word, I didn't find one commentator saying one word about. Everyone has something to say about tzaddikim, chasidim, ziknei amcha beis Yisrael, pleitas sofreim, gerei hatzedek. And then we say, Yehemu rachamecha, we're asking Hashem to show mercy and compassion and to give a great reward. But the last on that list is Aleinu. Who is Aleinu? Ourselves. Don't only be compassionate, Hashem, to these who are so worthy, these who are so exceptional, these who've transformed and converted literally their lives. Also, don't forget V'aleinu. V'aleinu and us. And us. I think it's very significant and shouldn't be overlooked because Aleinu means even if we don't meet the criteria, even if we don't meet the definition, we're not tzaddikim, we're not chasidim, we're not ziknei amcha beis Yisrael, we're not pleitas sofreim, we were born a Jew, we're not gerei hatzedek. But we also are worthy, and we're also asking for rachamecha Hashem Elokeinu, for Hashem's compassion, for Hashem's compassion. We sometimes see or think the righteousness and piety, virtue is found elsewhere. In the Gadol biography, in the story we hear or tell about another, someone else in the community whom we admire or look up to. But we forget about Amich Kulam Tzadikim, that all of us are tzaddikim, that there's a piece of every one of us which remains untainted and unblemished, the piece of us which is pure, the piece of us which is aspirational. V'aleinu. V'aleinu, we're davening, almost reminding ourselves as much as Hashem that we are worthy of Rachamecha Hashem Elokeinu V'aleinu. Don't forget us. Reminds me, Sfasem says a vart, and we read a couple weeks ago, V'yahavta l'recha kamocha, the mitzvah to love our fellow Jew. Obligation to love a fellow Jew. And everyone concentrates, what does it mean to love the fellow Jew? Some are easily lovable and it's easy to love them. Some are much less lovable and it's hard to fulfill the mitzvah to love them. But love is not an adjective. Love, of course, is a verb. It doesn't mean that we have to love with a feeling. It means we have to display and demonstrate. We have to perform and practice love. But that last word in some ways is the most important because it's the foundation for the rest. V'yahavta l'reacha, love your neighbor, kamocha, as you love yourself. Which means implicit in this mitzvah is a mitzvah to love yourself. Some people fulfill this very naturally. They could love themselves a little less. But we're struggling in a world with significant amount of mental health struggles, in a world of people who are insecure and have a low self-worth and self-esteem, and people who struggle to love themselves. They feel unlovable to others, maybe to Hashem, and to themselves. And so the Torah says, V'yahavta l'reacha kamocha, love others as yourself. Begin by recognizing you're worthy of love. There is what to love in you. There's promise and there's hope and there's potential and there's already virtue and righteousness. There is what to love in ourselves. So the Torah, of course, is a selfless, it endorses and promotes selflessness. It doesn't want us to focus on our ego or our sense of self. But maybe the significance of this word, which so easily can be overlooked, maybe you'll find a sefer that addresses it. I didn't. I'd love to see it. But the word V'aleinu, on this list of those we think about and daven for, don't forget V'aleinu, the best of us and the best who we can be, and the best that we've been and the best that yet we can become, kamocha, to see that which is lovable within ourselves. This week's Pasha, V'cha achicha imach, that we have to help others, sustain others, but with us, V'aleinu, that we too are worth loving, we too are worth davening for, and it's worthy of thinking about and pausing in the bracha as well.